Welcome, Forex trader. Last week was a very eventful week in the Forex market with the pound dollar breaking below the 148 and the euro dollar below the 105. Lots of dollar strength. Will that continue this week? Let's take a look at the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar yen, and Aussie. But first of all, though, be aware that this video is intended for a global audience. It may not be suitable for everyone. To find out more, please visit this website and select your country of residence and contact appropriate entity, the one mentioned here in the slide. Also, please be aware that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for all traders and investors. Therefore, please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. Alright, so first of all, special deposit bonus. Take a look. It's valid for the entire month of March. And basically your initial deposit, depending on the height of your deposit, you will get an extra bonus from other markets that you can use for margin. And if you meet their volume requirements, then you can also, of course, actually get the bonus. So this is a very exciting opportunity. I encourage to take a minute or two to look at the conditions and see if this is something for you. Our first starting spot here is the euro dollar weekly chart. And we see the continuation of this down bearish momentum and a very strong candle actually last week. If we zoom in, you can see about a 400 pip candle, I believe. So not too shabby. Definitely one of the bigger ones here in this downside. So expecting just from a technical, very simple technical candlestick pattern point of view, we would expect the price to continue with this downside bearish momentum. From a fundamental point of view, this week, primarily interesting will be the FOMC statement on Wednesday, New York afternoon, to see whether the dollar will indeed continue with that strength. Will the FOMC see positive signs in the recent US data? How do they look at the current perspective of an interest rate increase? That's going to be very interesting with the FOMC. Other events that are interesting are the pound bank rate votes and also the Swiss interest rate. Moving back to the charts, we can see that ever since basically the downtrend started back in May 2014, almost every week had a lower low and lower high. Some, of course, didn't. Here a few candles that didn't, but all continued within kind of a 4 to 5 window range. So you see that this is actually right now we're still in this impulsive fall. So I wouldn't expect last week's high to get broken, which is at 109.5. So that's a key level. That's good for any stop loss placement, for instance, to protect to place a protective stop loss. So any retracement that can go up to 107.50, for instance, 107, maybe even a fib, just to fib the weekly candle like this, anywhere to the 50 or 61.8 fib would be, in my opinion, a good retracement for follow through to the downside. And I will be hunting for shorts around that level, 50, 61.8, even the 38.2 fib, anywhere in this zone basically would be good for shorts with the target at 103.40 and 102, which is a minus 2.7 and minus 61.8 Fibonacci targets. So basically, of course, if price were to go higher, I would definitely still be interested, 78 or 80.86 fib. Primarily, my goal would be to keep an eye on price action candlestick patterns here at the 50 fib. For instance, a shooting star like this or engulfing twins at anywhere in this area would kind of give the confirmation what I'm looking for either on the hourly or 4-hour chart. The pound dollar is a pretty interesting feat. It broke through the big monthly bottom at 148.10, which is a significant level. It's where we had the start of the rally here for the pound back in 2013 and part of 2014. After that, of course, we had a close in reverse and a strong fall down, and now we managed to break through that bottom. The bottom is important because it could have been a very major bounce. Well, we actually had some kind of bounce right in here, but that was not really, from a weekly perspective, not a very big bounce. From a weekly perspective, it was quite a minor bounce before we got the follow through to the downside. So same story here, basically, week after week here, already 2 weeks in a row now in this case. We had downside, so expecting follow through of this pound dollar to the downside. I would like to see a bit of retracement first, though. I wouldn't want to trade it right here, right now. Upon this bottom break, I think a bit of a pullback to any of these fibs here as well, like the 50, 61.8. Same story as the euro dollar, basically. Looking for candlestick patterns at these fibs for follow through to the downside, for shorts to the downside with the targets at 146 and 145, which are the minus 2.7 and minus 61.8 fibs. The dollar yen, of course, also in a major uptrend It has been already for quite some longer time actually than the euro dollar. Actually, probably dating back to roughly 2.5 years now in the meantime. And it has risen all the way from 75.50 or 60-ish all the way here up to 121.75. So that was a pretty enormous uptrend we've had so far. And yet again, we're trying to push through and continue with that uptrend. We've had a break of this triangle, so that spells more upside. This triangle right in here, that was a consolidation, a bullish consolidation after a pretty big impulse to the upside, and we're now breaking to the upside. Now we do have one key level that remains intact. We should be cautious of the 121.75, but as price pushes through, that would be a good area for a breakout to the upside with 124 target. Why 124? Because actually it's on the monthly chart. It's a bigger top right in here that I would like to exit before price hits that level. So back to the 4-hour chart, or maybe even daily chart here, and no, 4-hour chart is better. And you can see that price is actually kind of consolidating at this level. So looking for a breakout above this triangle like this. It's a smaller triangle after we had a breakout above the bigger triangle. The breakout after the bigger triangle was here. This is kind of a pullback for more follow-through probably. Now that confirmation of the follow-through happens when price pushes through 121.75 and this most smaller recent triangle here on the hourly chart. You see it a bit better. This triangle that I'm looking at. So push through to the upside is what I'm looking for, not to the downside, because that's counter trend and will encounter or has a potential of encountering a lot of support. Before we take a look at the Aussie, take a look at these webinars lined up for this week. We got weekly FX recap on Monday with Nennet, then live trading and Forex strategy on Tuesday and Wednesday morning. That is Central European time, and GMT time of course too. And then Wednesday evening expert opinion, extreme scalping. Plus Thursday evening, we're going to take a look at the camera indicator setups. You can watch those at this link and register through that link I wanted to say. And we'll hope to see you in one of these webinars. So now that you know the great lineup we have for this week, let's take a look at the Aussie. And we see basically the Aussie pushing through this bottom as well. It took a bit of time. This bottom here at 76.50-ish, 40-ish, 30-ish perhaps. But we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth week finally pushed through. So this is looking bearish too, although we did have a bit of a wick at the bottom, which makes me a bit more cautious with the Aussie than perhaps the euro and pound, and perhaps even the dollar yen. Although the dollar yen too has this kind of the similar setup where, as the Aussie, as they're both trying to push through but haven't. So the important level for the dollar yen is 121.75. For the Aussie, it's the 76.30 level. I would like to see price pushing through that level, and you can see engulfing twins here. So wouldn't be surprised if the Aussie makes a bit of an upside retracement first, and if I put a fib on this very first pretty impulsive bullish swing high, swing low, then perhaps a move up to, for instance, this minus 272 at 77.77, or even the 78.37 before moving down could happen. And I'm especially interested in finding the bearish turn at these Fibonacci targets. That wraps up our video analysis of this week. Make sure to take a look at the special deposit bonus during March. You get a great percentage extra as a margin at first, but if you have enough volume also as a bonus or as your own capital. So that's very interesting. Take a look at the conditions and all the details and see if something for you, but certainly worth your 1 minute or 2 minute attention here to take a look at the link. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the webinar soon and wish you happy hunting. Cheers.